goodness. Guess who's
Sorry,
on the
I am
right?
so much louder in person. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Follow Youth online or on our live streams. We're so glad that you guys are here. Louis, put me back up to normal volume. Thank you very much. I do see that. Also,
Got headphones. I'm not sorry.
we have got
Turn it
Adam. We've got Adam hosting with us, and we have Louis running the tech this time. So, Louis, welcome in.
Back
It's
at
great
it.
to have you back. And I have missed being on the main camera. So, thank you for having me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, how are you? How are you? It is boiling hot in this room, is it not? We
Yeah, actually, it's
we
pretty
need
warm.
a fan. This room does not have
Be
aircon.
warm.
And whoo! Anyway, so welcome
How many
to
more?
Taylor, to Tori, to Esther, and to Noah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are so glad that you guys are here. We have got a really, really fun night planned, and we're going to have some great conversations too. So, a bit of a rundown with what's been happening this week, I guess. Let's launch into some talking points, maybe. But, just before we do, actually, no, we'll let you guys know what to answer with. Sorry,
Okay.
I had this
confused.
I was about to hiccup or something. It was really weird. Anyways, it was weird. My
Okay.
throat does weird things. The talking point is, what's something you've been looking forward to? So you are looking forward to doing these summer holidays. So what's something you're keen for this summer? For me, obviously, just before we get into that, sorry.
I was going to say you forming decent sentences would be nice.
Well, you're not wrong.
What's something you're looking forward to doing?
Yeah, it's like I get up on
That, this,
on
that,
Boxing Day,
that,
Sunday,
that,
and I do that while preaching.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
become like...
So, ladies and gentlemen,
live stream.
And it's like shaking your paper. It's like... So
I'm
just before
genuinely
we get
gonna be-
into this...
legit though. So, I always say when I'm up on stage at a
back.
at a church service, in an
Shout
in-person
out.
church service, that my heart's beating 100 miles an hour. And that's because it is. But it's interesting because I used to really struggle with, like, when I got up front, in front of a bunch of different people, my legs would noticeably shake, even though I tried to control myself, and I'd hold on to, like, a, what's the thing called?
The pulpit.
Pulpit,
Pedestal.
thank you. Yeah. So we had one at like school and all that. And when I'd get up on that, people could see my legs shaking apparently like crazily. And even though I was still like holding it, but I was like shaking. And so that's something I've had to get decent at over this last little while because yeah, I'm still just as nervous. I'm just trying not to show it outwardly by shaking because I think a lot of people would be very, very concerned.
The scrunch kind of looks like a paper airplane, or the beginnings of one.
It really does. It kind of looks
It's
like our
another
theme
Follow
from
Youth
Love Letters
activity
from
night
John
online.
with the scrunched up paper. Anyone been paying attention?
That's how we made it. There's
Going
more
away
me in
with
the
friends
scrunch.
and family. Got 4 trips planned.
Gee, must
4
be nice.
trips over the summer. I'd be keen for that.
Yeah, I know.
Going with Louis and seeing his family in Geelong. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, family. Ugh, Geelong. Blech. Ew, Geelong football
You've
team.
been up with the
Blech.
family.
Oh yeah.
Hawthorn football team.
Yeah. We
Collingwood.
came-
Blech.
Look, I think that's
In
fair for
jail.
all of us. Honestly.
Richmond. Blech. We gotta go through all of them and be like,
St Kilda. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone
yeah,
says
St Kilda.
every. St Kilda's the only good one, right?
Oh man,
I know
I'm
Luke's
about-
not watching,
I
but
think
we'll
we
do
need
it for
to
him if he
remove
wants to
something
watch it
there,
back. You've moved the table.
I
Don't
just
move the table.
vomited in your bag because you mentioned St Kilda Football Club.
Maybe we need to remove Nick
Nathan,
from the.
g'day, how are you? And Annika, welcome in. Well, they can't see him. He's like overexposed, but Nick's chilling here. By the way, has anyone been watching like the Celebrity MasterChef? I've kind of missed it in the last couple of weeks, but Nick Rewald's been in it. So don't tell me if he's been eliminated yet, because
I think he
don't
has.
don't spoil. I just said don't, Louis.
He's definitely been eliminated.
Yeah, he's
But no,
definitely
he was doing quite well actually. So
Well, if he was doing well, how's he eliminated already? Clearly not that well.
maybe he's not. G'day, John. How are you? Family's going to Gold Coast and theme parks.
What?
Oh,
Nice.
Dude, I've only been to Waterworld. That's the only one I've been to.
White World.
I've never been to
White
the Gold Coast.
Water World, yeah.
No, sorry, not World. No, SeaWorld. SeaWorld was the one. I knew there was water. So, SeaWorld.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to see the world. But not.
Yeah,
that's like
okay.
water.
Okay. Okay.
eye rolls there.
He's such a good
Yeah.
cook. Yeah, I know, right? It's so cool to me. I've been watching it because I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Hey, fair enough. How have you been liking
Nice.
that? Has it been fun? Has it been fun? Have you been playing with mates and all that? But yeah, has anyone else got some big trips planned for the summer? For me, honestly, I'm keen for our leaders retreat. So us leaders, before we get into term 1 next year, we're going to go away for a retreat for a little bit. So that'll be really nice to just reconnect, but also look at what next year is going to look like. So yeah, we're not just planning just one term in advance. We're actually going to look at most of the year, actually. So there's actually a lot of pre-planning that goes into youth and a lot of work with that. But yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff, but also just have a really good time connecting as leaders.
And
Yeah.
hopefully you get to be able to enjoy a full year without maybe being online.
Yes, because we
Touch wood.
hopefully we won't be online
Touch wood.
for next year. What are you doing?
Can you touch woods? Just touch wood.
No.
Well, if
why
we're
do I
back
need
into
to do
lockdown, I blame Josiah. He didn't touch
It
wood.
is art.
that? We've got God here. All right. Better than any superstition.
I still blame
That would have been the
Josiah.
best birthday ever. Nice, yeah. Keep running into boss fights, so I just got to over the boss because I
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it'd be like that though.
Has anyone been playing Minecraft recently? I've been playing not tons, but some Minecraft at least. Adam here barely plays it.
No.
Or barely has
What is
ever.
Minecraft?
Which is
What's it called?
unfortunate.
Minecraft?
I honestly thought it was Mindcraft, like with a D, like Mindcraft, like mental craft kind of a thing. Before I realized it was Minecraft. I can't really hear. Maybe try.
like my mans?
I think it's the volume on your computer potentially, because our volumes it's saying it's fine. Yeah. So maybe chuck up the volume either on your YouTube player or on your laptop or speakers or
And
whatever.
Josiah's literally screaming, so
Yeah, look, like if you were, like, you could probably hear me better from where you're living, like without the microphone than with the microphone.
it's actually on mute, but she just hears you, and that's it. Yeah.
Annika's having a rant about Minecraft. Wait, good rant or bad rant? Should we get a Minecraft server for Follow Youth? Honestly, it's tempting, and it's something that I have thought about.
We've
genuinely.
discussed this many times.
We have.
It's getting
Yeah.
to the point of beyond a joke. We either have to do it or just...
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. The problem is... Oh, bad rant. Oh, that's sad. Annika, it is a great game.
That's
Thank you
good.
very much.
That's good.
There's a reason why it's still so popular after 10 years. But so the issue is I don't actually have my PC anymore. My PC was capable of actually running a server. And not just like one server. It was capable of running a server while doing streaming and gaming and whatever else. Like it was a solid PC. Unfortunately, I've sold that. So until I build
went
a
to the
new
dark
PC, I did embrace Mac. But the fact that I was a full PC person, embracing Apple and Mac, that says a lot, I think. What's up to Esther? Anyways.
She can hear us now, so she's removed the messages.
Okay, fair enough. She hears it enough. She hears about it with Lenny in the house. He's just gone camping. Yep, cool.
That's a stitch up.
Oh, so was it just like Luke and Lenny that's gone camping? Nice. PC's still better than Mac? It depends. This is as someone who is a PC computer geek. Like, yeah.
Okay.
iPad
Next
just
talking
destroys
point.
all of it.
Have you been to Fountain Gate or not? And how many times, if so?
Yeah, has
Too
anyone
many
been
times.
to Fountain Gate yet? I haven't been yet. I did go to Bunjil, but however, that was the day before it opened. So I got there planning to just, sit down and just study because I was like, I'm going to be productive. That, I'm going to be in Bunjil in the library section. And then I got there and that doesn't look right. So I Google it. After getting there and making the 20-minute drive, oh yeah, we opened the next day.
That's a stitch up
That's
right
a,
there.
that's a stitch up, yeah.
Yeah. So that wasn't great. So no, I haven't actually been to Inside Fountain Gate yet though, per se. So hopefully sometime soon. Oh, nice, Taylor.
That's not bad.
I have once. For Fountain Gate. Nice. Done yourself a mischief, yeah. Honestly, it stitched me up a little bit. Done yourself, yeah. Look, I should have checked. I knew
Yeah.
it. I told myself before I left, I should Google it just to make sure it's open and all chill. And then after that, I went to Listerfield Lake, but this was on the public holiday when it was like 26 degrees. So
that's why you were
So it was
there.
only Tuesday.
yeah.
Was
So
it Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. And so, but unfortunately, it as expected, there was literally no car parks whatsoever because it was Listerfield Lake and it was a public holiday and it was 26 degrees and we had just gotten out of lockdown. Put 2 + 2 + 2 + 5 together, and it means that you've got a full car park. So I ended up going and heading to Cardinia Reservoir. We're actually just sat under a
They only
tree
have 9
with my
car
camping chairs.
spots.
Hey?
They only have 9 car spots. Isn't Listerfield Lake basically Cardinia Reservoir?
No, they're different. They're
Or are
separate.
they further?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're about a 10-minute drive from
I
each
always
other.
thought they were the same.
No, they're actually different. But they're both really nice, actually.
Confused.
See, I'm going to get a message saying I'm going to need to... Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm stressed
Yeah.
about a little bit. It's like, oh, by the way, you've been at a tier 1 exposure site. Go get tested.
Oh,
We actually had a scare the other night from one of our life group leaders. Some of us were there, and basically one of them was a tier 1 contact or...
Now that was
found
a
out
stitch up.
maybe it wasn't a tier 1 or maybe it was a tier 2 or something like that. They found out after we had done the life group meeting, so the following day. So they did get tested. Unfortunately, it's a negative, so we're all good. But it's a little bit scary just that, the day after. Oh, by the way, yeah. Keep an eye out for that. So
Well, like us when us three went into the city for a drive after life group, and then the next
Oh, yeah.
morning you wake up with a cold.
yeah.
Now that was more of a stitch up.
But symptoms usually take a few days. They're not usually instant. But yeah.
Yeah, but you can still pass it on before they come on, though.
Okay, let's go to the next talking point. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's
wait.
keep moving. Let's keep
Team
moving.
pink
Come
or
into
blue,
scientists.
meaning either Instagram is pink and blue is Facebook.
Yes,
but they are
have
owned
you
by
been-
the same company.
Keeping up with our socials, ladies and gentlemen. We've been posting stuff on our social media, ladies and gentlemen.
Have we?
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Are you team pink or team blue? Team Instagram or team Facebook?
Well, why not? Let's be the taco item bigger. Why not both?
Why not both? Yeah.
Well, algorithm. Is there a neither? Not for this
Yes.
one. Well, actually, no, that's fair.
Paper
Bit of
mail.
Instagram, yep. Pink. Honestly, I've actually found it was really interesting. I read through all of Isaiah on Tuesday, which, by the way, if you don't know,
I
that
thought you
is
said it was Jeremiah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Jeremiah, not Isaiah. No.
Oh my goodness.
Isaiah would have been easier to read through. Jeremiah is the longest book in the Old Testament. Like, actually, it is. Like, it's got the biggest word count. So, because I know that some people will be like, well, Psalm has 150 chapters, and Jeremiah's only got 52 chapters. Well, in regards to actual word count, Jeremiah is the longest. 52 chapters, ladies and gentlemen. That was painful to read through. But what I found out is actually by printing off the physical page, by the way, there was like 100 pages or something like that. I could be exaggerating, but probably not by much, of A4 pages with scripture on it. But yeah, I
if
found
it's
out
only
actually
that
printing
big,
it
it's
out.
probably not too
It's
surprising.
not too bad. Hey?
If it's only that big, it's probably not too surprising.
Yeah, but it
'cause
didn't have all these footnotes. That was entire that, and it was.
Yeah, but
double-sided
like
and-
usually you see them in, like, especially the
Yeah.
smaller books.
But that's why by printing it off and having it slightly
52,
bigger,
according
that's
to
why
Noel.
it was. It becomes like, I guess, easier to read because it's not like you're having a Bible there and you're having to go 52 chapters reading it up close. With trying to squint. That's easy to read.
It's just wasting paper instead.
Is printing of scripture ever a waste of paper?
Kinda when you can use like your iPad or your
Or an
laptop
actual Bible.
or a
But
Bible. Yeah,
I'm actually taking notes on it as well. For an assignment. So neither
you
I
could
use my
like write notes on your iPad or a phone or laptop
but I don't have an iPad.
or phone.
But I don't have pen capabilities on my laptop. And I don't have
Or
pen
type.
laptops. Sorry, I don't have pen capabilities on my...
Or
Okay.
type.
Why would I type?
I think you can add notes to the Bible app.
That's only if you highlight a particular verse and then comment on it. And it's like... painful.
You could still write a whole essay into a note thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this is just like small like notes and circling and. Anyways, we've gone off on a tangent. As we usually.
Fun
Okay,
uni
let's go
stuff.
to our game.
It's
Yeah,
time for
let's
some
get a
games,
game.
ladies and gentlemen.
Game.
So obviously, activity night, it's kind of hard to do on stream, so we haven't really been able to do too much. So the activity night's kind of activities, but I've also found out the word activity is kind of interchangeable for game. So yeah, you have a notes app on Apple, yeah. So I
see.
take notes like that, but sometimes I just want to scribble down like little things right next to a verse. Like that's what I'd do. I'd either circle the verse or put a line next to it, or underline something and then scribble a note right next to it, kind of a thing. But yeah, Angel, no worries. Welcome in. How are you?
Oh, gee.
We're about to move
Time
to
for the game.
our game.
Perfect
So,
timing.
what's wrong with this logo, ladies and gentlemen? That is our game. There are 7 of these. I was putting my hand like that. That's 5. 7 of these. And you need to. So, the first logo that's shown, there's something wrong with it. It's not the. Well, it is the original logo, but there's something wrong with it, as you know. Obviously, some of them you might not be able to tell if there's anything wrong with it. They look so close to the real one. So. Yeah, is it like what's happening? Yeah, see Taylor. Yeah, Taylor gets it. The uni students get it.
See you later.
So what is wrong?
Apart from noses coming out the bottom of it, what's wrong with this logo?
What's wrong with the Netflix logo? Has anyone got it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, it's curved on the top. See, that was my
Curved
fit.
on the
Oh, man.
What's
That's
your
what I
guess?
was trying to say that.
Yep, Kevin on the top. All right,
But
Louis.
I think the curve goes like that instead of like that.
So you need to click the
well, it's
source, Louis.
on the bottom.
I've done it. I've changed it.
Have you?
Yeah,
Oh, it
it's
has.
on there.
Oh, it has switched. Never mind. My bad. Yes, that is correct. It is curved the wrong way. This logo now is the correct curve. For those of you who don't remember, it was
That.
Yes.
So before,
the curve was on the top.
after,
Yes.
before,
So that's
after.
all right. Let's go to the next logo. What is wrong
Oh, my
with
goodness.
this one? JB Hi-Fi.
I feel like this is probably the easiest one.
No.
Oh, what?
I think there's one or two that's easier.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
No one gets it correct.
Who's
I'm like,
on
this
holidays
is the
already?
easiest.
Oh wait, Taylor's on holidays as of today.
Oh, damn.
Those uni holidays.
Yeah, which means holidays till like March.
Missing the eye, is it?
But then she'll probably be working like non-stop.
Yeah.
JBH iffy. Yeah, the eye is in the wrong spot.
Is the eye? Wait, is it the eye that's in the wrong spot, or the hyphen that's in the wrong spot?
Well, which eye is in the wrong spot? Is it the last one or is it the second one? Or the last one or the middle one?
That's me. It's the right side of the first eye. Very well done, Mooksy.
There
And
we go.
Mooksy, welcome in. How are you? All right. Yes, that's correct. Let's move it. There we go. There's the
There we
real
go.
logo. All right. Let's move on. What is wrong
Oh, yeah.
with the Dell logo? And as we have people answer this one, has anyone still done COVID hair and put off getting a haircut? Adam and I both have so far.
No, this is freshly cut today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is shocking, ladies and gentlemen. I just haven't really had the time, the money, or have really been bothered to go get a
Yeah.
haircut. Yeah, I think it's all 3 of
bothered.
those reasons. It's like, yes, I'm annoyed with it, but do I really care? Not too many people are seeing it. The E should be facing up. Same, I haven't cut my hair. Yep, I've
Yeah,
cut
it
hair.
should-
Yep,
Be rotated to, I don't
it's
know,
in the other
left?
way.
To the left?
It's on the wrong angle, the E.
Wait, isn't it around the wrong way?
Yes. All right. Well,
So isn't it
let's-
like,
All right, let's go to the real one. And we'll. Does that make sense now? That's
Yeah.
the real Dell logo. Yeah. So which is what everyone's been saying. The E is wrong and it should be faced the other way. Sorry, I thought that was one of our leaders. Anyways, yes,
Well-
very well done, everybody. Oh yeah, I'd get it on here as well. Lol.
that probably would be the smarter place to check, but
Yes,
anyways.
true. Alrighty. Very much so, John. Very much so. All right. What is wrong with
Oh,
this
yeah.
logo? The Holden logo. Who can get it? Do you
Oh,
have
yeah.
it?
I'm pretty sure I
Okay, because it's a bit of a harder one.
think I know.
It's not to do with the color or the background. If that is what anyone's thinking, that is not it. But yeah, what is the issue
Supposed to be
with
red.
this one? This will be interesting to see, like, who picks up on the subtleties of the Holden logo, or who's missing on
Actually, I don't think I do.
little bits and bobs, or like I was thinking of car, like, you know, a car logo to put in there, and I was like, what's going to be difficult? Obviously, I could have done Hyundai and Honda.
Oh, yeah.
I made them because people seem to mess
We're
up
dopey.
that. Yeah, but I'm like, Holden's a bit more technical, I feel, and so I think more people will get that wrong.
I actually don't know if I do know the difference. I'm trying to think of it in the car.
This is interesting because the chat's got it perfectly right. It's missing a line in the main, which is very right. So they're missing the middle line. It's the hair and missing a line in the main. So, Lou, do you want to take us to the real logo and watch it as it fades? There we go. There's a third line in the main, and the bottom line has a little slight difference, which you can only see if you got full screen on YouTube. But yes, it is missing that strain, that little detail. Very well done,
Actually, I had
everyone.
no clue that it was like that.
All right, what is wrong with the Adidas logo? Or is it Adidas?
Adidas.
Okay, cool.
We're not American. Get out of here.
See, I'm like, yes, we're not American. We need to say it Adidas.
If you
Yeah,
going
I'm the
to
person
say-
who says aluminum.
Aluminium.
Just so
Do you say
if you're going
camel?
to say Adidas, you need to say it in an American accent. If you're going to
Beatus.
say Adidas in an Australian accent, it sounds really bad. But if you're going to say it in an American accent, okay.
Too many lines.
Yeah,
Feels.
that's what I was thinking.
Oh, wait, this is for this logo. Okay.
What were you talking about?
I thought you were talking about, like, the lines in the Holden logo. I thought we were still back on that. I didn't realise
Oh, well.
the lag wasn't too bad this time. Only
we just went
3
on for
lines
that
too
long.
many? Wait, is there only meant to be 1 line? Interesting. All right, well, let's go to the answer. What is
I think
wrong with
it's
this
round the
logo?
wrong way, isn't it?
There's only 3
Oh.
lines.
Is it
Very
weird
well
that it looks
done.
better the other one?
I made that just messing up. I
Oh.
made the other one. You actually prefer that? I think it looks terrible for me.
Hey,
go
Adidas,
back.
please, or Adidas, and I'm saying it not in an American accent, please comment and see if you like which logo better.
I messed that up as well. I need to get the angles proper. 'Cause
Oh, no.
on the proper, so at the top, the angle isn't right and it's not straight on my version because I just couldn't be bothered, really.
It would be nicer if it was a touch closer, but that's fine. I don't have any Adidas clothing, so it's
There
not
we
too
go.
bad.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. What is wrong with the Shell logo?
The fact that it's missing shell at the bottom.
Well, no. Okay, no. Do you know what's wrong with it?
I'm pretty sure I do. I think it's... Yeah. I think I do,
Not yet,
but...
not yet, no. Original's better. Don't give him false hope. No, that's fair. That's fair, though. And that's the thing as well. You don't want logos that are, like, too much, you know?
Okay, that's not what I was thinking.
It needs to be pushed up a bit. It's a little too close to the name. Well, that's how it actually is. It, like, sits on the title of the eye. For those of you who don't know, the dot on top of an eye is called a title. And so, yeah, it's on top of the title. It's where the lines sit on the Adidas logo.
Is it the colours?
Yes, very good.
Oh.
So as you'll see, the red is on the outline and the yellow is in the middle. Boom. So that
Ah,
is the
yes.
correct logo. Yes, very good, guys. All right, and I think we're on to our last one, and this could quite possibly be our hardest one. What is wrong with the Starbucks logo? This is going to be interesting, actually. You're going to have to really pay attention to it to try and figure out what's wrong. I will be very impressed if someone gets this, like, ASAP. So,
Just
think
take a punt.
I know what it is, but I'm not sure.
Can I suggest one?
lock it in your head, and then we'll wait. Because we want to let other people have a guess first. Really, Esther? Interesting. Interesting guesses. Interesting guesses.
Wrong colour. Wow. I can't even tell the difference. but- Crown. So what's wrong with the crown if it's just wrong? That's what I want to know.
Louis, you can take your stab
I
at
think.
it.
Oh, okay. So at the top of the crown, there's an extra triangle that I feel like it doesn't look like a crown. It just looks like an upside down triangle pointed the wrong way around. And I'm like, that doesn't look right because you've tried to put. No, it doesn't look right. It just. No.
I think the TM is there. It's just really, 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 really tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not getting any of these then.
Meant to be a triangle in the middle. Yeah, Esther. Yeah, I understand.
Are any of these correct?
Yes. So
Ah, damn.
if we go to the new logo, wait. Actually, before we do, so I put an upside down triangle at the top of that crown. This point of it, right? Remember what it's called? It's called Starbucks. So if we go to the new logo, Louis. Thank you. It's a star at the top of the crown. So some were kind of right with, like, Louis is very right with the extra triangle, like very close, but it's a star.
The crown has a star top from Mooksy.
Yeah. So Mooksy's got it
Anyway.
right there. And then Tori
GG.
also had it. The crown should be a star. So it is a
yes.
star. It's a subtle thing. Like, obviously, if you look, I don't think if people were looking for an error in the logo, you'd get it straight away. I don't think you'd walk by that and be like, oh, that's the wrong logo. I think
Yeah.
you'd be like, yeah, that's Starbucks logo, you know? There's something wrong with it. Oh, is there? And then, it's only, I think in the context of this game, it makes it easier. But yeah, very well done, everyone. Cool.
Not bad.
And that is
And that
all
one's
of them.
curved around the wrong way.
Very good, Adam. So good.
He deserves
Can't
gold
fool the
medal.
graphic designer. Yeah, true. See, I feel like I'm an intruder with graphic design because, yes, I do graphic design and, I do a lot of it for church and youth. In fairness, we use a lot of presets.
Cheaters.
Well, no, we pay a lot for it, actually.
No, okay.
Like $300.
Expensive cheaters.
No, they're
Don't
useful.
tell him that.
But I also do make a bunch of graphics from scratch or based off ideas.
Basically how
Point being,
everyone does
though,
it, based
like
off ideas.
I haven't done a proper degree like Tori has. Hey.
Based how everyone does it off ideas.
Well,
Paid on.
most people like view something like that and then base something off it.
Yeah, which
Based
is
something-
off
that-
an idea.
That's not mine. That is the idea that I'm working on.
Yeah, that's what a majority of people do, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Anyways, thank you, Noah. I appreciate
Well, I mean, like, if you're going for something, then aren't you, like, looking at something and taking inspiration from it? Is that kind of what
Yeah,
you're saying?
true. Well,
You
I
never
mean, like,
really make anything from scratch.
well, true. That's the thing. Yeah, people see all these amazing artworks, and I'm like, if we're looking at all these famous artists from all the centuries, right? And they've got some, amazing, groundbreaking artwork. Point is, they've had inspiration, right? They've had nature, they've had
Yeah.
God's creation. What I find is absolutely amazing.
They've had people.
God didn't have any of that when he created Earth.
Yeah.
Yet he made every little detail. He made everything so perfect and beautiful. And he didn't have anything to base it off. People are like, oh, that's the coolest drawing of, the what's it called? Like the night sky by Van Gogh, this really swirly. Starry Night or whatever. It's got stars, it's got
Yeah, I know what.
the sky, it's got all that kind of stuff. Guess what? God made all the stars in the sky. He made every single grain of sand. Made every single one of us. He made every tree, every little cell, every atom. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Bob Ross, dude. I love watching Bob Ross. Not gonna lie, Bob Ross is such a cool artist. Unfortunately, he's passed away, but yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, agree.
But yeah, so
All other comments agree.
but yeah, I just think that's really, really cool that God created all of that just from his own imagination without any other inspiration. It's just him, and that's just amazing and astounding. And,
Nah, not bad.
not bad. All
not
right,
bad.
cool. So just keeping an eye on the time as well. I think we might move on to our message, and then what we might do, if we've got a bunch of extra time, we'll come back and do another activity / game. Game / activities, very interchangeable. So, well, that's the thing. We find his replays and all that, and his episodes getting played on Twitch and on YouTube and stuff like that, which is really cool.
He's forever alive.
Even things
in
you
our
can't see.
hearts.
Exactly, Fisher Boy. He made the wind. How could you think of the wind? Like, I'm going to make the wind. People can't see it, but I'm going to make it. And people can feel it. And see its effects. But people won't be able to see it. It's
Yeah. I heard this quote. It's like God is like the wind. You can't see it, but
you can see the
effects, yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like, the wind is there, and in the same way, we know that God is there. Like, it's one of those things that I think for long-standing Christians who do know this and who've come to know God and become and had a relationship with God, it's something that we know just as real. Like, we know he's just as real as Adam right here beside me. Just as real as the wind. Just as real as this tabletop. Well, actually, this is kind of fake. Well, it's a tabletop on top of the table, but
This plank of wood.
yes.
That's laminate.
Wait, what? Who?
Yeah.
Who, Mixie? Anyways.
God.
Big brain.
Well, I don't think he works like that. So I got past.
Oh, that's a stick.
Oh, is that what you're meaning?
Oh no! Oh, spewing.
Now we've gone down a rabbit hole.
For everyone who got to see that for the tiny couple seconds.
I don't think it
Funniest thing you'll see in the day.
He does pass wind. I don't. He's not bound
Does he,
by
though?
our human bodies.
Okay, let's go to the actual
Dun, dun,
demo.
dun.
We've-
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna head to Taylor, and yeah, that's her message.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Taylor, and tonight I'll be talking a little bit about trials and suffering. Heavy stuff, I know, but it's important because everyone faces trials at some point in their life. So yeah, I'm gonna attempt to talk a little bit about that tonight. I'll be focusing on James 1 verse 12, which says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." So, right now, Year 12s are sitting their final exams, and I know for a fact that those are pretty scary, pretty big trial in my life. Some of you other people might have assignments or homework that just keeps piling up and you can't seem to get ahead. Sometimes trials might look like friendship issues. Maybe you're in a fight with a friend, or maybe you're struggling to fit in at school. Maybe someone you love has sadly passed away. I don't know why I haven't thought of saying it yet, but COVID-19, we all know that's been a big trial for everyone the past couple of years. We've had isolation, had people losing jobs, we've had doing school online and uni online. I think we can all agree that it's been really hard. And yes, there does seem to be an end in sight, but that doesn't mean there still won't be trials once COVID's done and dusted. So my point is that there are many, many trials we're all going to have to face at different times throughout our lives. And just because you're a Christian, that is awesome, but that doesn't mean that you're still not going to face trials, because everyone has to face trials. There's always that question you hear, why do bad things happen to good people? And we'll come back to that in a minute, but when you look back at the Bible, we see that even Jesus had to suffer in order to fulfill his purpose. He was sent by God, and even though he was perfect, even though he was sinless, he still had to pay the price in order to fulfill his Father's plan. So he suffered, he died a terrible death on the cross, and he was perfect, but he still had to go through that. And if you think about it, like, we're sinners, we sin every day, it's just part of our nature. So, of course, we're going to face trials. Like, it's not even a question. It's just a part of life. So coming back to why God allows bad things to happen to good people. Well, it's a difficult question, and I'm sure that I can't answer it. I don't know the answer. At least not all of it. I might know different parts of it or think I know them, but I don't. Like, only God knows. Only God can justify these things. And one day we'll find out in heaven. But Proverbs 3 verse 12 might help us understand a little bit. It says, "For the Lord corrects those he loves, just as a father corrects a child in whom he delights." We are God's children, and a good father disciplines his children because he loves them. So whenever we face trials, we can have faith that God loves us, and he has allowed those trials to occur for a good reason. In fact, for Christians, trials can be seen as a blessing from God, and they do have a purpose, even though we can't see it. It might be because God is trying to shape us in a certain way, or maybe it's so we can grow in a certain area of our faith. Whatever it is, I'm sure there's a good reason for it, and God will use it according to his good and pleasing will. Maybe sometimes it's not so simple though. We had some great discussions last week on Zoom, and a question that came up was, well, what about kids who get cancer and die at a really young age? Like, why does God let that happen? And that's really tough. Like, I haven't been through that, but some people have, and it's tough. Like, it's difficult. It's hard to understand. But something Josiah said was that we don't always know the answer. Like I said before, I don't know the answer to this question myself. I'm just trying to understand parts of it from what we have in Scripture. But yeah, we don't always understand. And we need to remember, though, that based on God's character, he doesn't allow these things to happen to spite us or to spite anyone else. He's not trying to get back at us for all our sins, because that's just not in his character. God is love, and he shows mercy and forgiveness and grace more than we could even know. I randomly found this quote today, and I thought it fitted really well with this devotion. It says, "Maybe you've been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved." So what I got from that was that sometimes we're given trials to help others grow in their faith, or help others understand things better, and to prove to others that anything can be overcome with God. God can help us get through anything, even when it seems like a mountain that is impossible to move. With God, anything's possible. So that's just another thought. And also last week, something Louis said was that sometimes we get thrown curveballs in life and we don't know how to deal with them. But we do know that God can support us through that. He's there for us. He is looking out for us. He can help us through these things, no matter how difficult. And we can trust in him that there's always a good reason for the trials and suffering we face, whether we know that reason or not. So that's just my little spiel, my little thoughts. Let us know in the chat if you have any questions, or if you thought anything was interesting. And I'll leave you with this verse tonight. James 1 verse 2 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." See ya.
Awesome message, Taylor. Thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. Taylor, if you're still in the chat, I'm assuming you are, would you be able to actually pop the verses from your message in it? Because that was really great, and it's really nice to have that encouragement, because I think it is really important, especially when we are in a time of craziness, of many different trials and tribulations, many different difficulties of all kinds of nature. So just thank you for that reminder as well. And I think that is really important, that it is there for a reason. And I find that when I've gotten through stuff, I think it doesn't necessarily make it easier, but I think it's comforting knowing that there's a reason to it. Not that we understand it necessarily, but I remember times when I've cried out, I'm like, "God, I know this is for a purpose, but please get me out of this. I know that you're going to use this one day, but please get me out of this." And, not all, it probably hasn't happened where it's just ended like that. Or it's just, the trials are stopped or whatever. But I do get to the end of it and be like, that was hard, but that's now something that God can use, and that's something that God will use. And I think it's really, really powerful with that. And there are many examples that have happened over time that's made me realize that more and more. So, yeah. Anyways, Adam, Louis, anything you guys wanted to add?
I think he's kind of summed it up.
Yeah.
The first chapter of James is a good one to read about testing and all that stuff, so which is always fun.
Yeah.
Not a fun part of life, but
Yeah, but I think it's almost an essential part.
yeah.
I think I think a lot of people try to go all their life without any hardship, but end up getting to a point where either their life is extremely mediocre and usually pretty sad, or it's a life that eventually does face trials and tribulations, and they're not equipped to deal with them. And it makes it 10 times harder.
Yeah.
I had someone, I know they're not Christian, like sort of Christian, like one of the counselors at school was going through some like tough times, and I said, I keep having these different, obviously at the time I was having different things pop up and whatever, and they go, I'm trying to get the words right.
Oh, good.
If in life you had no problems at all, what is the point of life? Because if you have no problems or trials and tribulations, there's nothing to look forward. Like at times, there's nothing to make part of your day interesting if there's no issues or anything. Because you've got to let, in a sense, that's how I can sometimes. Yes, it's annoying and tough and hard, but if life was so easy, what's the point? In a sense, sometimes that's how I see it. I could be completely wrong again. And it's just, it's up for discussion, and, it's sometimes hard to understand it. Taylor said how, like, this last couple of years have been, like, a massive trial for all of us. And it's, like, it's not, God knows that we can, like, I know, obviously, going back to what I said last week, obviously it was referenced in the Devo today, like, God knows that we can handle some of these trials, and if He knew we could handle it, that's why we're going through it, because we can handle it. But at the time, we can't see it.
And I think, sorry,
that's how I see it.
And I think adding on to that as well, I don't know if Taylor covered it in her Devo. We had kind of something fall down, and so we kind of got interrupted as the Devo was happening in another room. But basically, I guess what kind of comes to mind is I can't remember exactly where it is in Scripture, but there is a passage where it's talking about, God will never let us be tested or tempted, or He'll never allow anything to happen to us that is more than we can ever bear. And He's never going to let us something like never let us be tempted by something that isn't a common thing to be tempted with. But in other words, these things you see, why do you think it's the same few sins, like the same key sins that keep popping up throughout history from 2,000 years ago to now? They're common things. It's sin as particular characteristics, if you will. But point being, with these trials and all that, God won't let us take on. He won't allow something that's too much for us to overcome us. And I think in saying that, though, it's not we're perfectly equipped with it by ourselves. I think in a lot of these things, we can get through it if we're doing it with God. And I think that's the big difference there. I think I think in many of the things that I've had trials with and all that kind of stuff, it's in many ways helped me be pushed closer to God, because I'm realizing I can't do these by myself, and I can't take on all this extra stuff, and I can't deal with everything that's going on by myself. And so what it actually has been doing is pushing me towards God, and He's actually changing me, shaping me, transforming me in amazing ways through these trials and tribulations. So yeah, I think it's a really hard thing, but I think it's also a really great thing in the end, in hindsight. So yeah, I love what you said there, Noah, as well. And I love that God. So I think that God sent us each other to support each other. We never alone, absolutely. And I think we talked about it last week, or maybe it was a few weeks ago, where we're never alone. God is always with us, even if we've got no people with us, and usually there are people, but in some cases you don't actually have anyone that you can rely on or trust in. But throughout all of it, you've got Christ. Psalm 23:4, even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. God is always there through the worst times and in the best times, no matter what. So I think, if you have a relationship with Christ and therefore a relationship with God, that's a permanent that's a relationship that is unlike any other. It's a perfect relationship from God's end, at least. God is the perfect person, right? So if there's any flaws in the relationship, that's us. Not gonna lie, that's us. And I'm not pointing fingers at that's you guys. No, it's us. It's all of us.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
But yeah,
It's like sort of like when you're in those trying times, you feel like there's no one there to talk to, in a sense, but in reality you've got you actually have someone there, but you don't see it, but it's actually most of the time it's God is dragging you along, not dragging probably the wrong hate saying it, but lifting you up and carrying you there, because he loves you that much that even though during those trying times he's trying to help you and he's there, and all. So
yeah, and I think that's a really important thing. So one of the things Adam said in his last message in the Upside Down Kingdom series, by the way, that's on YouTube, so go check that out. They uploaded a separate video, so you can actually just find it really easy. So after the stream, go check that out. But he talks about prayer and the answers to prayer, and one of the I think the really key ones that hit me, it's not one that I'd heard before, was grow. One of the answers God has to prayer is grow, and what that is it's not this, like, say you're in a really hard trial, you're in a really hard tribulation, and you're always like, hey, God, get me out of this. Hey, God, get me out of this. And hey, God, get me out of this. And maybe he's just saying grow. I want you to grow in this situation. I want you to change. I want you to develop in this area. And that's a key thing, because, if God took away all of our suffering straight away, right? Or, he just changed our circumstances. If you ever were back in those same circumstances at another stage in life, you're going to be back at square one. You're going to be back hurt in the exact same way, right? And yes, I'm not saying if that same thing ever popped up again, it wouldn't still suck. But you've actually known that you've gotten through it before, and that you've grown, and that hopefully through that growing stage, you can either identify it earlier on, or two, it's not going to have as much of an effect necessarily. So I think that's another important thing. So we've got a question from Nathan, and then I think a bit of an answer from Noah there as well. But would you say when God is testing you, it is a good thing because he hasn't given up on you? And then he's also put in brackets or parentheses if you're getting grammatical with terminology. I don't know if he does give up on you. It could be you giving up on him, but I don't know. So I think one, he never gives up on you. I guess you could say that, like, he allows us. Let me just backtrack a bit, and because that's another whole other path that can get confusing, and I don't really know what I'm talking about there. Point being, it's very, very hard for that to ever happen, kind of a thing. Like, God knows exactly who you are, and he knows if there's a hint of you ever turning back, or if there's no hint of you ever doing anything good, kind of a thing. Not doing anything good, but repenting, I think, if that makes sense. Okay, I think we'll just simplify. No, he's not going to give up on you. Let's just simplify.
I don't know if he ever gives up on you. Like, he's still always
if there's always
chasing you, I guess.
Yeah, because if there's ever a chance of you repenting, he already knows that, right?
Yeah.
So if there is that chance, of course he's never going to give up on you. So, okay, let's just make it easy to understand. No, he's not. We could get into a really long theological debate, but I think that's going to go flying over most people's heads.
I'm going to agree. I struggle myself as someone who reads the Bible, and even reading in school, I struggled so much.
Mm.
And it's not because of my lack of trying.
Mm.
It's because the way that my body is, my brain is wired. Sorry, my brain is wired. It just sometimes I don't interpret it as well, and it's easy to. Sometimes it's basic ways of explaining it is sometimes the best way before trying to go all theological and everything, because I don't know.
Yeah, wouldn't appreciate heaven and the glory of God if normal life was perfect. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. But yeah, so God would never give up on us. Sometimes we do give up on Him at times, which is very, very sad. But
nearly on a daily basis, like every time you sin, you're technically giving up on God.
That's true, actually. Yeah. But yeah, in regards to testing, I think it is a good thing. It produces perseverance, and perseverance produces... I can't remember the verse, but good stuff. Daniel, welcome in, man. Yeah, appreciate you stopping by, man. We're good, thanks, man. So there's an easy way to get into contact with God. Now, okay, this is a really deep thing. This can get very deep because we were kind of talking on this. It depends, I guess, but... Okay, how theological are we going to?
I was going to say, I reckon it's probably pretty easy. I think all you have to do is pray, really. I mean, it's a simple thing to go.
On this with Wednesday, right? Like praying, right? Are we praying through Christ, and so it'll actually reach God, or are we praying just praying to a God out there, kind of a thing?
Yeah,
because that's the thing. If we're praying just to a God out there, that doesn't really do anything.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, so it's kind of a theological question. So, it is difficult, though, isn't it? It really is difficult.
But if there's only one, if you believe that there's only one God, then isn't that the God that you're going to
Well, not necessarily.
contact,
That's the thing. So Moses was talking about... So when Moses asked God at the burning bush, right? Regards to, okay, so what do I call you, right? And God's like, I am who I am, right? So that wasn't a good enough... Well, that obviously was the perfect answer, but Moses was like, well, the people of Egypt and the Israelites, they're not going to identify with that, right? They're not going to understand that. They need, because God's still a person, right? So God's an actual, there's an identity there. So that's why you got Yahweh, as who God is. Like, that is God. Like, that was his name, right? So... It gets very theological. It's very nitty gritty. I
feel like it just depends on how deep you are in your relationship with God. I think probably just coming to Him fresh. It's probably just prayer. Reading the Bible as well is always a good one. But yeah, I think before you go into all that, there's a lot of
it's very much it's very much a journey. I think when it comes to connection and actually a genuine relationship with God.
Doesn't happen overnight.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I believe we've got a few of our youth that are actually going on this journey where they're asking tons of questions for over several weeks. They've been reading their Bibles and they've been understanding that. And I think people think, oh, why are we going to read the Bible and all that kind of stuff? But some people like to just put, I guess, into worldly terms, if you could. It's not great to do that, but I guess it's kind of like the handbook to life in many ways. And I know that there's a lot of, maybe characters or the wording in it is very confusing and you don't understand it, but it's got the truths about about God and about life, and people spend their entire lives studying it and they never really find the answers, but it's an active and living thing. It's very weird to talk about. Like, it's very weird terminology for a non-Christian to hear. Okay, but anyway, so going back to the question, I think...
nice.
I
Yeah, I knocked
think
it
if
on
you're
the
new
bottom.
to your faith, to God, it just keeps praying and reading and understanding, and if you're further into your relationship, you more understand how to pray for different there's nothing wrong with just going, hey, dear God, and all of that. Like, it's just, if you're new to your faith, you just do it that way, and then once you learn, you understand, we'll go more dear and structure your prayers in a different way, in a sort of sense. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to answer the question myself and give it my thoughts. I don't know.
I think...
Well, Jesus also gives us the perfect way to pray as well. through
that's
the
the
Lord's
thing.
Prayer.
Well, I think
It's been a long day, sorry.
oh, all good, man. Well, I think okay. We need to go back to what's essential right now, and I'm hoping the Holy Spirit just speaks through me right now, and I just pray I can be His vessel right now. But we know that Christ, like through Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Christ is a title, by the way. He is the Christ. That is a title of immenseness that nobody can ever reach except Him. And it is through Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And there's this verse that nobody comes to the Father except through me. So I think more than anything, in order to reach God and to become a child of God and to have that relationship, we need to first look at Jesus Christ. And we need to first accept Him through faith and accept the gift of grace and this gift of salvation that He's offered to all of us. Basically, we've all fallen short of anything. We don't deserve anything, kind of a thing. We're always messing up in other ways, and God's created this He's given us ways that we're meant to live right now, I think. And regularly you see from Genesis, He created this perfect world, and then it was, then there was the fall, because Adam and Eve sinned and were tempted, and they did what was wrong. And so what ended up happening is that sin, this word sin, by the way, it's, falling short of God. It's falling short of His standards, really. And it is choosing to do what's wrong, what He's asked us not to do. And I think so with a lot of that, so ever since then, really, we've just been broken, and there's just been this habit of all of us messing up. We all know that we've lied to other people, or sometimes even to ourselves. We've hurt others. We've done other things that aren't what God asks us to do. And by the way, there's a very good reason for all these things. A lot of the time you'll see as well, these sins actually hurt others, but also they hurt us. I think there are sins that we might be like, well, that doesn't hurt anyone. What you're actually doing is hurting yourself, though. Like there are things that you can get into that, whilst it doesn't seem that it's affecting anyone else, what you're actually really negatively affecting yourself. But there are also things where you're actually sinning against God directly. But yeah, anyways, so through all of this, we've messed up, and basically the only way that we could ever be made right is death. To be perfectly honest, it's death. Death is a result of sin. That's the only payment for sin, right? But here's the thing: Jesus came down to earth, and He never sinned His entire life. He faced 40 days of direct temptations without any food, without any water. So you can imagine, like, we still sin, and we've got, comfy beds, we've got, a chill house, we've got clothes, we've got food, we've got water, we've got everything we actually need, and we still don't sin. And you know what? Jesus faced the worst things, you can only go 40 days without food/water before you actually starve to death, kind of a thing, by the way. So He would have been right on the verge of death, kind of a thing. And so the devil was even tempting Him, command these rocks to turn into bread and all that. And He could have, but that was sinful, and Jesus gives scriptural reasons as to why that was. And so he did that, and He lived this perfect life and never sinned. And what He did was He died for us. He was the only one who didn't have to die, and He died for us because He loved us. And here's the amazing thing. So he died, yes, but 3 days later He rose again. And that's why we celebrate Easter. Good Friday, right? That's the day that represents Jesus' death. And Easter Sunday is the day where it represents Jesus came back and was resurrected from the dead. And then, I don't know, it was a little while later, and then He went back up. He went back to heaven. And Jesus Christ is God and is the Son of God. And it was God in human form coming down to earth for us. And basically, he's constantly preaching about the kingdom of God that is still to come. And so it's only through accepting this gift through Christ, this gift of salvation, that Christ is made available to us through his life, death, and resurrection, that we can actually be saved. Otherwise, all of us would be doomed to death. So I think first and foremost, we need to accept that gift there. And that gift's there for everyone. No matter what you've done, no matter who you are, that gift is there. Unfortunately, though, so many people don't accept that gift. And it's a gift that's, like I said, for everyone. And so as we've been going through Romans as well, and we know that, and by the way, if you ever want to, read Romans or read the Gospels. If you want to start reading the Bible, read one of the Gospels. So either Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John to start off with. Definitely recommend reading Romans and stuff like that. Or even 1 John. 1 John is a really good letter. But yeah, I think first and foremost, we need to accept that relationship with Christ, because when we do that, we're born again. And that sounds really weird, but what's happening is we're saying goodbye. We're putting to death that death path. We're putting to death our old self of our sinful stuff. All of these stuff, we're putting it to death and putting it away. We're shoving it off the table well and truly, and so we can never pick it back up again. And we're choosing to follow Christ. And obviously, it doesn't mean we're perfect, because we're not. We still sin. We're Christians. We sin. All right, we still mess up with things. It's the sad truth of not being in heaven yet. All right, we'll get to heaven one day, but not yet. But I think, yeah, once we've had that relationship with Christ, that's the big thing right there. You know, we now have that relationship through Christ. And going back to the start, the verse that I opened this up with was that the only way to God is through Jesus. And so, well, I think once we've got Jesus, you know, like, yeah, does that make sense at all? Or was that not really helpful? But anyways, so easy way. Yes and no. I know it's gone on for a long while, but I think it's really important that we need to look at like the actual truth. I think at times we need to slow down and actually take the time to unpack questions, because I think it's really important, especially on YouTube Lives, I find, because this is out there. Someone may, someone may watch this in 10 years' time, just wander on it, and they've got this question, it's answered. And so I think it's really important to look at that. But yeah, it's that relationship with Christ, guys. That's what makes all the difference. That's the difference between eternity away from God and in hell. That's the thing. It's away from the presence of God. Anything that is good in this world, like, you think of all the good things in the world, and that's from God. And so, could you imagine life? So if God was fully removed, all right, there's nothing good left in the world. There's only darkness. There's only terrible stuff happening. Only that. There's nothing good left. And so, life with God, eternity with God in a perfect world, that, like, man, I want that. But yeah, does that help any of you guys in the youth, in the chat? I'm not sure. That's an interesting take, John. I don't know if I fully agree with that necessarily, but that's an interesting take. Like, you could be right, but yeah, I'm not really too sure, man. That's a very, yeah, like, I haven't heard that before. So it's definitely one to consider, I think. And I think I think it's good to consider all these different takes and all that. So, but yeah, that's interesting. Like, I haven't heard that, and I don't know, yeah, so yes, Eve was tempted, but I wonder if, like, I kind of see I do see where you're coming from, but I think also, yeah, Eve was tempted, but maybe Eve also tempted Adam, kind of a thing as well. Like, you could say. So I don't know. It's a bit nitty gritty, but I think at the end of the day, what happens is that both sinned. And I think that's the thing where we kind of look at, what's actually happened, kind of a thing. Like, what's actually was the result of that? What's the actual core things right there? And the core things were both sinned. Yeah. Cool. Anyways, sorry, that went on for a bit. Does anyone have any last minute questions? I realize we're also 10 minutes over time. I apologize for that. I always go over time when I'm talking. So it is part of me, I think. I'm very much a chatterbox. But does anyone have any quick questions? If not, well, I think we might wrap it up there. If you are of youth age, though, and you like asking questions, you like talking about stuff, you like getting into the nitty-gritty, subscribe. Make sure to do that so you won't miss our future streams and uploads and devos and all that kind of stuff. Our Roman series, once we finish that at the end of the term, those are all going to be uploaded to YouTube as well. So if you have missed out on any of them, you'll be able to watch all of them at once if you'd like to, or as whenever you want to, and look at that. But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. Also, so check our socials out as well. So that's in the description. So at Follow Baptist Youth. That's both on Instagram and on Facebook. We post all of our updates and all what's going on youth nights and all that kind of stuff. On those. And next week, we actually have a Zoom meeting. So on Zoom... well, it's on Zoom. So basically, it's going to be really cool. We've actually got Pastor Luke coming as a guest, and we're going to continue our Romans series. So he's going to be talking on Romans chapter 6 and Romans chapter 8. So that's going to be really, really exciting. But yeah, it's just going to be good. And what we love about that is they actually run for 2 hours instead of just the one. And it gives us a chance to really get into the really deep questions. We have the option of, spending a lot more time getting into the deep stuff. And we have the last few Zooms. Like, we've really gone deep. So if you really want to unpack any particular questions and you have multiple questions, come along to our Zoom meetings. All right. So they're for people grade 7 to 12, or actually grade 6, because that are going into grade 7 next year, because we do that in term 4. But yeah, you guys are welcome to come join. Details are on our social media or the church newsletter if you are signed up to that. But yeah, we hope to see you guys there. And I think just last minute, we do need to promo something special coming up. So, Louis, you should see it there somewhere under promo, maybe. But 1188 has a comeback event happening November 20th. So 1188 is a dance crew. Really, really cool, by the way. So I'm not officially part of them or anything like that, but for a long, long time, Follow Youth and 1188 have kind of just, been friends, really. So one of our previous leaders, Mercedes, was one of the main leaders at 1188. So they've always been the bridge, if you will. And actually now I've been involved in a camp they ran earlier this year. And I'm actually emceeing and going to be one of the leaders at this comeback event. So if you are interested in coming along, it's going to be at the Phillip Island Adventure Resort on the 20th of November. I don't know if you guys can see it, but just search up 1188 on social media and all that kind of stuff, or visit their website. Just type in 1188. You'll be able to find them.
1188 Dance.
1188 Dance, thank you. But yeah, it's some great things. So we're going to have obviously some dance performances and stuff like that. But it's just going to be a fun day to reconnect. But also we've got a guest speaker coming in. It's going to bring a really cool message. And it's just going to be a really, really great time. So I hope you guys can make it. Invite is open to all. You do need to register, and there is a fee as well. But it is going to be an absolutely amazing day. Like I said, I had the privilege of leading in one of their camps earlier in the year, and that was an amazing time. And yeah, that actually happens before we start up youth. So if you're just missing hanging out with a leader, hi, make sure to come along. And yeah, I'm sure that will be a whole lot of fun. So yeah, November 20th, make sure to go check that out, because registrations aren't open for too much longer, I think, or maybe until that date. But honestly, November 20th is 2 weeks away. So yeah, go check it out. But yeah, are there any other things we wanted to quickly talk about before we close off for the night?
Don't think so.
No? Louis?
I think that's it. We've I hope you've enjoyed tonight.
Yeah. If you guys have any more questions during the week, shoot us a message on our socials and we'll have a bit more time to look over it and answer it for you. So
Yeah.
feel free to
Always
do
have
that.
questions and like message one of the leaders or the email follow at youth@follow.church, and if you write it up,
Yeah,
the leaders can
please.
get a good answer and response. And even if that's the same for next week, you want some questions, we can get some answers to
Yes.
those questions, and maybe we can do like a little session afterwards where if you had a question, we can.
that's shocking.
I know this is half signing us all up, but so that we've got answers to people's questions. If you've got questions, just send them through, and it'll be easy to try, and instead of trying to make up a quick answer, then we can get some research done for you and get some good answers. Some a lot better answers than probably us trying to make it off the cuff in a sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's another thing as well. We're not all perfect with this stuff. We're still learning and we're still growing in this, so we don't have perfect answers. And I think these answers, if you asked us in 2 years' time, they'd be slightly different, or maybe completely different if we were wrong. But that's one of the cool things. It's a relationship. We're getting to know more and grow more in that. But also, I think this like Louis just said, it's kind of off the cusp as well. These aren't questions that we've had for a week to look at, so we can actually get scripture references and all these little bits and bobs. So if you do have any particular questions that you want us to answer, say in a week or in a couple of weeks, let us know. Send an email like Louis said. Excuse me. And then, just let us know with that kind of stuff. And, we'll be able to unpack some more things, particularly the deep stuff. If you have got them, sometimes it's very beneficial to
I think if you
look
had
at
sent
scripture
a
for a
question,
couple of
you
weeks.
can get a perspective from Josiah, and especially we've got Pastor Luke next week. You can get his perspective, Adam's perspective, my perspective, and then Taylor's as well,
And Naomi's.
Naomi's,
and Tori's.
Tori's as well.
All of the leaders.
All of the leaders' different perspective, and we can sort of understand it and come in ready and go, here's our answers to why is the sky blue or something. Like, this is just an example I'm giving, just so to, and then you can understand it. So yeah.
Well, technically, it's because the ozone layer filters out all of the other colours. So
I wasn't thinking it right now.
and so that's why the ocean's blue. Ocean just has a very reflective way. So that's actually why the ocean is blue. But actually, where you see water, if it's in like a white bowl or something, it's clear. So it's actually the water reflecting the sky, and that's why you get blue water.
Yeah.
There you-
Anyways, without further ado, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Cool.
We shall see you in 2 weeks on YouTube and in 1 week on Zoom. So we'll see you soon. Have a great week, and God bless.
Through waters uncharted, my soul will embark. I'll follow your voice straight into the dark. And if from the course you intend I depart, speak to the sails of my wandering heart. Like the wind you guide, clear the skies before me, and I'll glide this open sea. Like the stars, your word will align my voyage and remind me where I've been and where I am going. Lost in the shallows amidst fear and fog, Your truth is the compass that points me back north. Jesus, my captain, my soul's trusting Lord. All my allegiance is rightfully yours. Like the wind you guide, clear the skies before me, and I'll glide this open sea. Like the stars, your word will align my voyage and remind me where I've been and where I am going. Jesus, my captain, my soul's trusting Lord. All my allegiance is rightfully yours.